Hello everybody, welcome back to another parkour video showcase. This map is called Vertext Parkour 2 Reworked. So I never played the original. This is apparently a rework. Good for them for fixing some bugs. That is very common when you make maps. When I was making maps back then, I am just terrible. Basically, in short, I'm bad. Where do I go? You basically spawn there and slide down. And yeah, not too shabby. So I haven't played parkour for like 2 days. I mean, I did play earlier, but I was bad, so I quit. The map was pretty hard, and now I'm back. So, what changed in this discussion? I will be discussing about corruption, government corruption, and how to prevent it, in my own opinion. So, I'm not incredibly smart, implying that I am smart, huh? I am just knowledgeable and probably misinformed, so correct me if I'm wrong. So, the basics of corruption in government is basically comes down to um, bribery, family, nepotism, heck, even political cover ups, those sort of things. So, let's go with the basics on the bad things in the corruption side. Why are people corrupt? Let's ask. Why are they corrupt? Well, there is a saying from Frank Herbert that power does not um, corrupt people because it is already magnetic to the corruptible. That means people who run for politicians' positions did so with the benefit of themselves rather than the genuine um, good deeds that they want to employ in society. They could they may have started off as good deeds, but along the way, they've lost their tracks. They lost their paths. Their treads have misaligned, and they are no longer in there to continue what they were once doing, to be a good law-abiding citizen. Aside from that, especially being a public servant. Politicians are public servants. They serve the public for the betterment of society. Improve legislation, etc. They guide society. Let's say back then in Rome, let's use Rome. They use old people because they say that old people has genuine um, experience that they could help employ to the younger generation. Where do I jump from there? Okay, probably from here. That was a bit confusing. Snoop Dogg. So, should I under jump this one? Probably. I could MSL this map, but that's too lazy. I mean, the jumps are not that bad, so let's do the usual round. So, it is important to keep. What the flip was I doing there? It's important to acknowledge why such individuals do corrupt. It is there's like two factors. They got in for the money, or second, they were once really genuine, but got corrupted along the way. Rest in peace to those who died. So it's very shameful because um, it's very complicated because a government body has a lot of functioning um, agencies that are part of the government, and these are basically the government's will. Should I jump there? I thought it's not possible. I was a bit surprised that I managed to get it. So a bunch of under jumps. Kind of miss jumping. I mean, it's not like I stop, but I just like jumping in general. It relaxes your brain, concentrates. I got scared there. Could I stand here? I can, but this one is blocking me. So our only path is to go there. And there we go. So how do we prevent people? How do we get more people to do good thing rather than those who wants power to needlessly exploit the system to their advantage? That's the thing is. That's the thing. There's only two types of people that goes to such system. They want to exploit it for their own agenda. And second, those are the people that are genuine but get corrupted. And third, you got very rare people that do their jobs and they have these are the sort of people that are in the nuance side, which means that they have to do their jobs, but at the same time they must do this in order to get what they want. So for example, you are a politician, you wanted to proceed with the you want everyone to have jobs, but the problem is you can't easily get that because there's a lot of competitors and all of them are bribing you that they should be the one to do it. They should be the one to have the business in this specific area that is very costly for other businesses, so they should be the ones doing it. And they're giving you money. So, what's the solution here? Where do I go? Up here, I guess. I'm a bit laggy, so let me fix my settings first. So that's basically it. I think I found it. Let's go with lower. Better FPS? Or maybe it's because I have low storage because I downloaded Supreme Commander. Supreme Commander. Anyway, so you are in a difficult spot because you have to choose that you want to do something that you plan to deliver. And if you fail to live up to those expectations, you are most likely gonna be replaced in the next election and people don't want you. And that's another factor is if you somehow, even if you choose one company to do business with you in this sector in order to fulfill the needs for more labor works, other companies would later campaign to unseat you in order for them to choose their candidate for their representatives. So again, what is this? Bribery, oh man, bribery and lobbying. So lobbying is basically using a politician basically to further your corporation or business agenda, and that's not pretty nice, or it's pretty bad, as you can say. So there's some pretty cool jump sections. Don't fumble tickle. Whee! Okay, more coil jumps. I assume. Oh, there. Not too certain. Let's spring. I think there. I am overthinking and not looking where I'm going. Okay, I can see the distance right now. The distance between what's real and what is known to be true has become an abyss. So, we targeted number one, to solve it. Basically, the bad thing also is that most people who are actually like wanting to change society don't often run in that campaign politician style. What is bro shooting at? I Pringle? Under jump? I'm just bad, bro. I'm just bad. I actually have a technique. I can't even punch. Let's spring. Nope. There we go. Where did we go? That far, huh? I don't think I should spring. I don't really trust my spring. Let's try under jump. That actually worked. Crazy. You know what? Normal jump. I feel like I could get it, but I'm just that bad, I guess. So let's do the under jump thing. Crazy. This is too high. Let's also do the under jump here. I think that's a bad idea because unlike that, which is static, this one is much more maneuverable. So you need to, I guess, spring or whatever. Crazy. So, those are the sort of things that we need to solve in societies to prevent bribery and corruption. How do we do that? Through laws, of course. But what if you want to let's say the president of your country receives bribe from a foreign nation. Let's say that foreign nation gave you $100 million. And you, the president, of course your eyes are shining because these are huge money. What do they want in exchange? They want the security, the best of your technology. And of course, you willingly gave it because you gave me money. So in exchange, I'll give you that. That's bribery. Pretty dangerous. If that were to to happen in a country, for example, like the United States, that would be crazy. But for example, why would they do that? Because they're corrupted. They're corrupt. They receive bribes from other nations, which is basically dangerous for example, national security of that nation. And they don't care because for them, as long as they got money, that's what matters. So some people just doesn't understand the security risks. Or maybe they do, but they just don't care. So aside from that, that's basically my one example. It's important to uphold the law because, oh my goodness, let's say there is evidence, but the problem is it's not enough. And with that, lawyers, people that campaigned against that person who corrupted, for example, the president in my scenario, would get away because there isn't enough evidence, or the trial gets paused. It's very frustrating as you who's seeking justice. Even if let's say if there's only minor evidence. And yeah, that's the sucky part. The law often protects these people because they probably have powerful connections in the Supreme Court, for example, the US, right? Example, the president has been found corrupt, but the Supreme Court is his allies, for example. So he most likely can't do much because his allies' tactic would most likely delay it. For example, I was the president of the United States of America, and I got found out that I did bribery. So before I became a president, years ago, or maybe a few years ago, before my term hits, I placed this person in a Supreme Court. So this person will protect my interest. And as a result, I could get away with it or delay it until it's not credible enough, or at the very least, people will have forgotten. So that's the craziest part. People can get away with it because they can exploit the system. They know how to play the system. And lawyers are also guilty of this because, yes, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, but they often teach these people on how to get away with it. I know the term, you're not guilty until you are, so you have the right to blah 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 blah. But yeah, sometimes this is where people get frustrated. This is why revolutions happen. People get sick and tired of that systemic corruption in the country. And people saying that violence is not the answer. You keep seeing this in front of you. Nothing will change if you don't do anything. Put yourself in the French farmers. Their farming has been devastated. You know what? I could probably skip up here. Why did I waste doing this sort of thing when I could just skip up here? Underspring? Can I underspring? I can? Let's combine it. What the flip? That's the sucky part about poles, is if you hit too much, you get, you know, slide off. Communism. Yes, communism. I'll probably bump my head if I MSL. Let's try MSL. Who's shooting? Just ignore me, bros. I'm just doing my MSL thing. Let's count to 15, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And lift off. Well, honestly, that's not too bad. That's too high. You know what? I'm gonna do it again. Long story short, took me another thing to MSL. This guy probably sees it and was wondering how. But if he does know, good for him. So, basically, I skipped the map. Or you could say this leads to another section. Okay, let's go around to cheat. I should have looked at the map itself and what it looks like. But hey, this map looks pretty cool, to be honest. This is so Jeff Chico style. So not too shabby. Alright, let's talk about corruption again. What other means of corruption do people do? What the? Okay. Another teleporter? I thought I was at the end. So we're back here. I'm honestly confused. Oh, rocks. Because rocks need no protection from the rain. I'm not a big fan of rocks. Rock jumps is not my thing. Spartan B132. There's only 4 of us. Please don't live, bros. I'm just that bad. But I trust that guy. Hello, bro. Weaving Fiber. I like your name. There we go. Can I stand here? Nope. I messed it up. So I think what I should do there is to slide up. I think my butt cheeks hurt. I should probably use a pillow. Hold on. Now it's a bit better. My position is a bit weird, but I'm more comfortable with this. And I said, no. Anyhow, let's continue the discussion. It's important that aside from bribery, there's also another systemic corruption that we need to look out for. Lobbying and bribery are the same. Lobbying is basically, I mean, not all lobbying is bad. Keep in mind, lobbying is essential for people with no power to campaign in order to help pass a bill, legislation in order to protect nature, for example, from the illegal mining, illegal deforestation. Basically, these people are very needed. Lobbying is good, but because corporations have to advantage of it, they have hosted events which sponsors this politician or people that spoke for them, who would often spoke for them about why climate change. There's not enough data, bro. There's just not enough data. So why should we immediately do this when there's not enough data? I thought it was gonna slide there. That's pretty dangerous. I think I should lower the sound of my effects because pretty that could be pretty bad for my, what do you call this, audio mixing. My background music, background effects much more noisy than my own audio or voice. So, aside from bribery and, what do you call that, lobbying, what else that is very in line with the government? Corruption. People you know inside. This is the thing, the bias is real. So the bias is real, and when the bias is real, you often can't do anything because, oh, I know him. So, oh, you know this person, so I should, push him to do this job. Basically a backer, someone you know as a connection stuff. And what if you are qualified, and the other is not, but because he has friends in the top, he could get in instead of you. And yeah, you can't do anything because you are in no position, no backup to compete with that person who has connections. I mean, recommendations is fine because it came from work, previous work. You were recommended for this, and honestly, that's pretty okay because recommendations from a boss is a thumbs up because it shows that you did your duty and you were qualified and you're now transferring or, let's say, upgrading. And basically, yeah. The issue, however, is that nepotism exists. So meritocracy are not all the time doesn't all the time work, and it leaves room for exploitation for people in power in order for their families, their friends, and yeah, in order to have that sort of position instead of you who are qualified or who is qualified. I just keep fumbling. Maybe I'm just that bad, huh? So, how do we prevent that? Again, the institutional laws must be effective. How does institutional laws be effective? For example, there was some bad things of the people in group that did many like a few years ago, and then recently, while they were being in trial, you pardoned them. You pardoned them with no free charges, and these people are now pardoned with no consequences because of the despite doing bad things a few years ago. And now these people who did bad things who are pardoned would ask, "Oh, the system isn't that really good anyway. We can get away with this." So they committed the crime again, and this time they got caught. So, what's the thing? What does it show? It shows that if you get pardoned without even trial, that just shows the systemic corruption because even the laws couldn't function just because of an administration doesn't want to give them a trial, or at the very least put them in a court, a lawsuit, a case. So yeah, that's pretty bad. There are some administrations, presidents, basically administrations that does that. Pardon these allies who are with them, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. What a world we live in, where law couldn't function, doesn't function, or is constantly being blocked by people in power because they have an agenda, they have bias, they want to protect this someone, and that's a shame if it does happen. So, in order to strengthen institutional laws, um, people should be wary on who to elect, who is actually not corrupt, and that's very hard. Oftentimes, people would use the argument of what do you call that? They would use the argument to justify the things that they did, and it's really interesting how people spin it. I thought that's a pole. I did not see that, bro. Thank you. Honestly, pretty dumb. I thought I was gonna fall there, but nope. Waving fiber. Apologize if I'm a bit slow, but I'll do my best. Thank you for guiding me. There we go. We've reached the next level. Huh. Not too bad. Doomslayer. I thought I was gonna slip there. No freaking shot. Okay. Be careful, Tiggle. Watch your path. Don't just jump. Watch them. Who's the host? Doomslayer? Convenient. I think this guy is a map creator, or maybe someone waiting for me to finish so that he could next map. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. That's entirely up to his head. But, yeah. It's really important to elect people. Do research, basically. What if people often wonder, why does he do this? Why did, let's say I'm the president and I decided to corrupt. I promised a lot of things and they didn't come through. For example, I want to lower the price of this item so that many people in my country will be able to afford it. Affordability. We need the Affordability Act. We need a bill to pass so that regular people could honestly buy it. And then it didn't happen. Why? Why didn't it happen? Could be a few reasons. One is because I have a history. No. Seriously? I have a history of failures with managing business. So I was once actually a businessman, and I was nepotism, which means the money isn't entirely me alone, it's from my parents. And I use the money of my parents to make a business which failed 3 times. With that record, people should be wary of voting for me, but instead they didn't, because my promises, my words, my charismatic words were easy enough to fulfill, or at the very least give them satisfaction of, this is the guy that I want in the office. And the other candidate may have promised the same, but let's say her promises doesn't sound good enough. The way that she uses words are not as good enough as mine. So, yeah, And then all of the bad things that I reflected in managing my business, which bankrupted, for example, did the same thing to my bills and acts. They didn't happen because I let bribery and etc. happen. So, what's the lesson here? People should do more research. I think the biggest problem with modern day people in general is people shouldn't be allowed to vote unless if you are, knowledgeable. Honestly, the good statistics for people to vote are mostly in universities and school. Those types of people are much more knowledgeable. Students in general. In my country, Philippines, most of the students voted for competent people, while most who are not students voted for people who did big promises, said a lot about lowering the rice price. Huh. So-called Uniteam, both of them are corrupt to the bone. And you know what? The ones that's actually competent didn't win, which is a shame. Shameful. So yeah, the voters themselves are also in the wrong because a lot of people just don't think, or at the very least, they didn't know who to vote, or maybe they just couldn't care regardless, and that's very dangerous. You are electing possibly a leader of your nation to lead you to make better lives. He did a lot of promises, but would you follow those promises instead of looking at its history, my history? Like, how would people hire someone if they have a history of, let's say, systemic substance abuse? Would you hire that person instead of the other who didn't have that? Of course you don't. But then, why do people repeat the same mistakes in hiring politicians? Well, unlike that substance abuse who couldn't speak, politicians have mastered the art of charisma and simple gestures of words. And the voter base are often pushed to this, or the people in general are pushed to the desperation that, yeah, maybe he or she could fix it. Let's vote him. And then they fell for it again. Fell for it again award. So yeah, it's very unfortunate that this happens. Yeah, I think I should jump there instead of. Wait, what? Am I stupid? I'm honestly. Yeah, I'm the jump. I'm pretty dumb. Sorry, weathering. What do you call that? Weathering fiber. I'm just that bad, I guess. Can't even sprint. Can't even spring. Let's try again. Oh my goodness, pleasant twin. What the flip is wrong with me? Guess I'm busy with corruption. So yeah, the voter base has a fault too. Most regular people either don't research or at the very least, they listen. This is where the problem again comes to it. Idolization. They idolize this person too much that they see tunnel vision. They don't do basic research because they're scared that what they idolize would come out to be false. So it hurts them. Think about it as a competition. Um, let's say a gambling in a match, in a football match. You want the other person to lose because you want your team to win. It's basically like that. And that's dangerous. You are electing people to lead your nation, not people who look or sound cool. Oh no, I'm just bad, I guess. Huh. Finally made it at the top. Let's hope that I don't fumble this one. Yippee! Loading. Hey, I made it. I made it. Withering fiber. Should be proud of me. Just kidding. I don't really like cones. What the? I don't like cones. I'm not a big fan of cones. No freaking shot. I thought that's the way. I think it is. Or not. No, it's not. It's just sticking out from the previous level that I was in. I can't even speak properly. My goodness. So again, the base has a fault. They keep electing people that are not suitable for the job, not qualified for the job, and they only did so because they want to win. They want the other side to lose, as a like a competition in a game. Crazy. A whole nation. It's just shame. I hope people become more intelligent. Not really intelligent, but much more aware. Empathy makes people aware. If you don't have that, it's, that's unfortunate then. Don't fumble this tickle. Okay. 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 No! Why do I fumble that? I guess I just suck. Hello everybody, so I made it back again. Honestly, I think this jump is more of a like this one. No! Bump. Lesson learned, don't do that, tickle. Maybe just plasma for safety, I guess. Anyways, what should I be talking about? Nothing. I have nothing. Let's just say, let's conclude the discussion about corruption. Is instead of, there should be higher standards for the office. That way, people in who are trying to corrupt would have difficulty. But at the same time, honestly, yeah, it should be higher standards. The issue is that unless if it's like a job where if you have higher standards, people won't be able to get in. I understand that. There will be difficulty with the shortages if there's higher standards. So, but this is a position, one position to lead a nation. Standards should be higher rather than just good enough. Like that, I just suck, I guess. When you have no accountability, then the system is broken. You could continue to exploit it. It's like, it's pretty fine. I didn't do that. Where's your evidence? Distort the truth? The party told you their last words. You know, it just sucks. Let's just hope more people be aware of what's happening around them. And the other factor that makes it worse is people do nothing about it. That's the worst part. Do nothing. It's like being complicit. Staying silent, not doing anything, is just making it, you know, making it, oh, it's okay. Not people are doing anything about it. And one of the first things to do about it is through protesting. How do you protest? Peacefully. You block establishments. The purpose of that is to annoy people in general. What happens if you, let's say, protest in front of the traffic? People will be angry at you and they will notice. That's the point of protesting. To deliver your message, to be seen by the masses, by the normal folk who are doing their things without care, so long as they benefit them, so long as they're okay with the status quo. And that's the issue. Is it's being normalized. It's just okay. And now I don't know where to go. There? How could I jump there? Help me, bro. Where do I go? Oh, it's not too bad. They just suck, I guess. Oh, more. I don't know how long this map is. I'm probably just halfway through it. Interesting level. Spring. There we go. So, I don't know what to talk about next. Don't be complicit. That's basically it. Staying silent means complicit. They don't come for me. Why should I do anything about it? They come for your neighbor. They come for your friends. You didn't do anything about it because it doesn't concern you. And then it finally came to you, and then you were wondering why is no one standing up, because all that's left is you. Pretty sad, you know. People won't say anything unless it happens to them. I guess that's the fundamental nature of humans, is that we always repeat the same mistakes because we don't live long. That's it. That's basically it. Let's say a few populations will learn about it on a school or a text. People in general just don't care so long as it personally affects them. That's the thing. We become numbed to what's happening around us. That's pretty insane. Why do I suck? Huh. I'm pretty tired, guys. It's already 12:23 p.m. I mean, morning. Cotton mouth. Can't even spring. There we go. I managed to spring. So yeah, if there's something happening surrounding in your environment, don't be silent. Speak out. Because if you stay silent, people in power in general will just say, "Oh, it's all right. They're not doing anything anyways." That's basically it. Why did I fumble that so bad? Guess there's more here. I guess I need to do some jumping again. Huh. You know what's embarrassing? Dan, who joined late, managed to catch up to me. I mean, Dan is a pro player. If I'm like 5.5 times faster, he is 3.5. So yeah, I am just behind. Especially since I haven't played parkour in a while. That's my other cope. Insane, bro. No shot, I overjumped that. Pretty much clapped that. I guess I just suck. I want to drink some water. I'm gonna drink some water. I don't know how long the duration of this gameplay is. I'm worried about the storage of my computer. Let's hope it's not too bad. You know what? I could honestly check that, but I'm too lazy. Let's do this sort of thing. If I jump, doesn't work. So how does he do it? I guess it's just that better than me. I suck. Ketchup mouth, no. Cotton mouth, I mean. Cotton mouth, no. Let me check the duration. Okay, 45 minutes. That's pretty iffy. That's more than the average parkour maps that I played. So I'm really tired, honestly. I don't think I can continue. I mean, I did showcase most of it. I think. Maybe I'm still halfway away. Halfway away. Honestly, I'm pretty tired. This is the first time where I could do the jump, but I just can't. I don't want to continue because I'm exhausted. Yes, there is some reward with me continuing it, but I prefer to sleep now. Alright, how do we solve this? Someone has a jet. Oh, it's weathering. That's pretty dangerous. Oh, never mind. It's honestly that easy. Which I kept fumbling on about. I almost walked off. Jeez. Should I jump there? Okay. Okay. I am honestly scared. I can't reach that, I know. There? Alright, I haven't jumped. Oh my goodness. I could MSL this, I think. Let's try. Let's try MSLing this bad boy. I'm just that tired. Alright, we've seen the line. We've seen the line. I think I can MSL now. Let's try 15 seconds. 15. 14. 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. Let's just jump. That's lucky jump, I guess. Even loading managed to catch up to me. I'm just that bad, I guess. I could jump from here, but it's too risky. And you know I can't jump here because I would most likely skip. If I jump too high, I'm gonna bump my head. It's okay, bro. I feel like I can do this. No! I get the gist. You know what? I'll probably end it here. It was a good run. I'm really tired. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's Vertex Parkour 2 rework. I might not be managed to complete it, but good luck to these gentlemen and women. They are it. Or at the very least, my pronouns are right. Anyways, that's all. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.